am going to share my screen and we will jump right in to the training today. So as I mentioned before, this is put a label on it. So this is a feature that is incredibly valuable when used properly. And as you are continuing to use this app or this business stack of technology that we have built out for you, it is very important that you have your contacts organized so you can quickly sort by them. And as I mentioned before, send out communications to them based on the group that you have assigned. We're also going to show you how to broadcast emails. So for instance, if I created a label group of mompreneurs, as an example, and I wanted to send them all an email at the same time, I can do that via the broadcast feature. So we are going to show you that today. So what are the challenges that we encounter? Oftentimes, we're trying to figure out, sorry, I've got to move this little thing that's in my way. How do you keep a growing contact list organized? So as we're starting to use this feature more often, we're adding more and more contacts daily. If we're doing the business actively, we need to be able to keep that list organized. And we need to be able to sort the list based on who we want to work with at the moment. So we're going to use labels for that. There's also no easy way to file different segments of your contacts together. So previously, if you're trying to do it on social media, if you're trying to do it via your phone, you cannot organize your list to just see a specific group of people that you want to process or process all at one time. If you're using these labels, you can click and send information to these people within 30 seconds and have reached out to 20 people within that time frame. It's also tedious and time-consuming to sort contacts into a customized content mailing list. So for instance, if you're doing that via Excel or any of the other sources available, it's very confusing. It's hard to duplicate yourself and to teach your team how to do that. And so that is another reason why we have built this feature into our app. So how we hope that you can use this is use the labels to help sort your contacts as they grow in the right contact details. So within this training, I am not only going to show you how to start to assign labels, I'm going to show you the benefits of why you want to do that, of how you can sort your list to make it more efficient and successful in how you want to work it. Create any label categories that are specific to you. So either one of you, Janelle or Jeff, you can decide what those groupings are, and then you can add a label and you can assign anyone to them. So this is your specific instance, it's your experience, and you can create whatever you need to do that. So for instance, if you go to an event and you meet a lot of people, you could always go in and create a label for that event. Anyone you met at that event, you could assign to that label. And then after the event, you could send them an email and say, hey, it was so great to meet you in Orlando. It's a very personalized email. They think they're the only one receiving it. But again, it allows you to communicate with multiple people at once, whether that be a text message or an email broadcast. You have the ability to unlock the broadcast feature once you hit 30 opt-ins. So one of the previous trainings that we've talked about is email campaigns, okay? So if you were not able to attend that training, you can always go back to the coaching section of your app. If you just look on your main dashboard, there is a little graduation cap. You can click there and go and watch the email broadcast or the email campaign training session. But in order for you to unlock the broadcast feature, you need to have 30 people that have opted into the email campaign. The reason we do that is to make sure that we're not spamming people. And so that creates some accountability within all of our customers, not just this business, but all of our customers, to make sure that we are continuing to get a very successful delivery rate with all of our email communications going out. So go ahead.
No, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump in and I'm going to show you how to add these labels to your contacts. All right, so here is my phone. You can now see exactly the dashboard. We enter into this dashboard every time we come into it. So we can see that we have 34 contacts loaded in to mine. So if I click contacts, I now have the full list. So for instance, Micah's iPhone, I want to assign him to a label. So if I click on this contact, it's going to open it for me. You can see down here below details, look midway through the screen, and down below that, you have labels. So if I click edit, these are labels that have already been created. I believe most of these have just been created by our team as examples. So for you, you can always click add new. I'm going to title him create a group for young executives. I'm going to apply it. And then now I want to assign Micah's iPhone to young executives. Okay, so we can now see that that is the label that that contact is associated with. So for instance, if I go back to my contact screen and I just want to look at everybody that is associated with that young executives label, I can do that by clicking this little filter. I click the little filter up in the top right of my screen. I want to filter by label. I want everybody that's in my young executives label, and I'm going to click filter. Well, now we just see Micah because it's only pulling people that are associated with that label for me. Now, if I want to go back to the whole list, I can click here, filter by label, unclick that, filter, and then now I have my entire list again. So this is the beauty of really using these labels, using them efficiently so that you can sort your contact list to just see people that are associated with that. So I'm going to show you this one more time, just so that we're all clear. You click your contact. This one doesn't have one associated because I went down below details and labels. It says none. It shows me this directly from their contact screen. Remember, from this screen, everything from this point forward is specific to this one contact. So everything here is about Gino. Every single note I send him, every single email campaign he's assigned to, every single resource is captured. So here, if I look at labels again, I click edit. I select the label I want to associate him with. If there isn't one, I can always do add new. I can create my own little folder. I kind of think of these as a little folder, and I can type this in. I'm going to do Orlando event. I did the plus sign and I apply because I have now associated him with that Orlando event. Okay, so the next thing we want to show you is we want to show you how to create a broadcast email. So for instance, like I said, you can organize all these people into a label. Once you've had at least 30 people opt into an email campaign, you have the ability to do a broadcast. So for the example we gave earlier with an Orlando event, I could go ahead and do what Ernan is going to show you next after that and send a very personalized email to where every single person thinks it's only to them, but yet I could be sending it to 30 people all at one time. So Ernan, I'll hand it over to you for you to show them how to do this in the back office.
Can I ask a question before we go ahead? Quickly or not?
No, go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, first of all, I'm not understanding why, like I don't use the campaign part at all. I don't, but I do send out, I do send out things, but as long as it's tied into the campaign part of it, I'm never going to be able to use the mail thing.
And that's okay. No, so these are two totally separate features. Okay,
they are, but they're connected. Well, I can't use one without the other.
Yes, you can. Absolutely, you can. And the beauty of the labeling is that is how you organize your contact list. So so that you can have, like I showed you, like whenever I want to
got that part.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
that's
I mean the mail out part. I can't do group mail outs until I have 30 actual of the campaigns, but I don't use the campaigns.
That's right. So for you, if you're not using the email campaigns, then the broadcast feature will not be a benefit to you.
That's my question. That's
Yes,
what I don't get.
that is correct. But creating labels could still be very, very beneficial to help organize your contact list. Does that make sense?
I know what you're saying there, but you're not answering my question, but okay, that's fine. Thank you.
So the answer to your question, I believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I want to make sure you do get answered. But if you're not using the email campaigns, you are correct. The broadcast feature will not open up to you.
Right.
If you're not having people opt in. Yes.
Why are those joined up? That's what I don't get, because we don't use the campaigns.
They're just because you have to label people to be able to do the broadcast. So we were just trying to combine a couple features within this training to just show more information.
No, I mean, in the app, I can't send out a broadcast until I do 30 campaigns. I send out lots of videos, but I don't use the campaigns. Can't it be tied to how much they opt into the videos instead of the campaigns? Because I'm still not spamming then, but I'm not. I don't have my hands tied because I don't use the campaigns.
Yes, I do understand that. And Ernie, and you might have more information to add specifically to why this requirement has been added. Do you have any more information that you can help Jeff and I understand why that's a requirement?
So there's actually a way for you to send out a resource to multiple contacts, but not on the broadcast feature. So I'll just show you my screen.
Thank you.
So, but you can only do this in the desktop app. So when you send a resource on the desktop app, you can actually select multiple contacts on the email address box. So it will be separated by semicolon. So you can actually do that here. But you can only send a resource. But the broadcast, the difference between the broadcast feature and the way you can send resource on the desktop app is in the broadcast, you can actually just send anything on that email. But you need to unlock at least 30% of 30% of your contacts that has opted in, and you can only send an email to those contacts that have opted into the campaign. So you can still send a resource to multiple contacts, but you need to do it on the desktop app. Regarding why it was decided that you need to unlock this, you need to assign contacts first to a campaign before unlocking this broadcast feature, is I don't have enough information about that though.
But we can definitely find out and get more information for you as to why the tech team felt like that was necessary to build the two in conjunction. And I know it has something to do with the delivery rate of our emails for everybody within the entire organization. So Ernie, can you show them how to do a broadcast if that is functionality that they can use?
Sure, one moment. Okay, so when you don't have the feature unlocked yet, you'll be seeing the screen. So you need to at least have 30 contacts opted in. And of the 30 contacts you assign to the campaign, you need at least 30% opt-in percentage. So once you have that, you'll be able to send out broadcasts similar to this. So what you're going to see on your end is just contacts, not users or winners. I'm using an admin access. So under contacts, if you want to send a broadcast to your contacts, you just need to click on contacts. You can either send it to all contacts who had opted into the campaign, or you can filter it by group name, by label or campaign name they are assigned to, and then show filter results. Let's just say Organo. So if you're going by field or filter, always make sure you're going to click on show filter results. So it will show you how many contacts you will be sending to, then create broadcast. If you want to send it to all your contacts who are opted into a campaign, just click on send to all contacts. And yeah, I haven't had that unlocked yet, so that's why it's showing me this. But if you do have it, one more, yeah.
So that's the main reason why we wanted to show you this too, because, you know, like I mentioned, we've already done a training on the email campaigns, but it can be very beneficial for you to add those people into those campaigns if they're not necessarily a not ever, but maybe more a not now, to keep them warm and allow that email campaign to do the work for you of reaching out. And then, like we've mentioned before, with an email campaign, if they're engaging and watching what you're sending via the email campaign, you will be notified just like you are notified when they're watching a resource. Go ahead, Ernie, and I'll pass it back to you.
Okay, thank you, Ati. So once you click on send to all contacts, you'll be prompted up to the screen and you'll be able to create your email, and make sure you copy whatever you wrote in the body of email, you copy it on the text content, and then you can just hit send now. It's going to be a little different on what you're seeing right now on my screen and what you're going to see on your screen. So you don't have this, you're just going to have the send now and save draft, and I don't think you can schedule it. So that's how you can send a broadcast to your opted-in contacts in the desktop app, not in the mobile app.
So more importantly, thank you, Ernie, that was wonderful. So for those of you, if you're not using emails and you're not using the email campaigns, then that's okay. You do not need to worry about this. Just know this is a feature that is available. It's a very beneficial feature for a lot of our people that are using the app. But if that's not something you are using, it's still very beneficial for you to create labels, label groups, assign them into your every single contact into a group, so that, again, you can filter on those contacts. Because as you are using this for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 months, your contact list is going to get very long. So one of the things I encouraged my team to do is, if somebody ever said, you know, I am just not interested, and they became like a not ever, I created a label for not ever. So it allowed me to move them into that group, and then it would allow me to then be able to sort them out of my contact list. So it's really beneficial. I would encourage all of you after this call to just go into your contact list, start to think of ways that you want to organize it that make sense to you, and then assign that label to them. So you can create it as you go, assign it. Once you've created it, that grouping will always be there for you. Okay, I want to highlight what we're going to talk about next week, and then I will open it back up for questions. So next week, we're going to talk about your hot list, your hot contact list. You know, that's where people can start to go, their points can go from 0 to 100, and you can start to see people really rise to the top based on the activity and how much they're engaging with you. And then we're also going to talk about your activity log, how to read that, what it means, and just be really able to track the information you have sent, so that you're delivering things in a very intentional way instead of kind of a wild way, and not forgetting maybe what you sent previously, especially for some of these contacts that take a while to get across the line. So I will open it up for questions.